So I really wanted to enjoy this mouse, if I'm being honest. I've the first mouse that I've ever used was the G502, and then from there I went to the G703, which was a very big ergonomic mouse. And I don't know, I really love the G703. This sort of feels like it, but less smaller. The G703 was more full on the hand, and for some reason that mouse was very comfortable, even though I have very small hands. So it's just kind of strange how things work. I would assume that this mouse would fit my hand more properly than the G703. I've seen other Reddit threads and also Twitter posts of people with small hands like myself actually enjoy the normal regular version of the V2 instead of the V2 Mini. But I'm just going to talk about my experience with the V2 Mini because that's the one I currently have. Now, I've been using it for about, I want to say at least 2 months. I've had it a little bit longer since its release, but my main has always been this one. The HSK Plus has been my main mouse, and I don't think I'm going to switch anytime soon. But I wanted to give this a try because I really wanted an ergonomic mouse. It just feels comfortable in the hand to sort of just palm grip any mouse and play any games, FPS game, tac games, just any game in general. To play with the palm grip is just more relaxing. I don't have to think about it. My hand just sort of naturally goes along with the mouse. But just like everything, if you don't have the proper mouse shape, your hand is going to find and kind of struggle to sort of be relaxed if it's not sort of built for your hand or for your hand size. And I feel that this one, my palm does not fully fit it. As you can see, there's gaps, which is perfectly fine, right? Like everyone's going to have a different type of grip. And some people are going to really love this mouse and it's going to be their main. But for me, I find that if I want to palm grip a mouse, it has to fit my hand fully. Like it just has to cover it. I noticed that trying to palm this one, I have to put pressure into actually making it feel flat. And doing that is something that I have to think about consciously. And I do not like doing that. I want a mouse that I can just grip it normally and be palm. But it does not fit to my hand. It doesn't fill out my hand, even though it's bigger. It's big for my hand, but it doesn't feel like it's full, right? And maybe the normal size version of this would be better. I have no idea. And also they have a pink version, which I would have gotten, but I got this whenever it came out, so they only had red and black available, and I decided to go for the red. So yeah, and it's kind of weird because I play with this one and I fingertip sort of claw mix with this one, and I'm very inconsistent, but when I play very well, I do play very well with using this mouse. So it's just something that I've been maining, and I don't think I'm going to switch unless I find a better mouse. But at the moment, I do not have the funds to just keep buying more. So this has just been my main since I've got it. But I did switch off just to review purposes for this one. And yeah, that's just kind of one thing for me. And I have small hands, right? It could be better for bigger hands depending on the kind of grip that you have, right? And maybe it's good for small hands too, depending on the kind of grip that you have. It's all personal preference. But when it comes to the build quality of it, it's very well built, and I think it looks amazing, to be honest. I like how the hose do not look like other mice. So I think they did a very well job when it comes to the design of how it looks. Very aesthetically pleasing. I really wish I did have the pink version. I think it would have looked better. Personally, maybe I'm biased because I like that color. But yeah, I mean, it's a subtle black, which makes it give off the other vibes of the reddish. It kind of has a matte glossy finish. It's sort of hard to tell, but I did notice that if I'm not playing palm, it's sort of hard to grip it with my pinky and my thumb on the sides. It feels a little bit slippery whenever I'm sweating. So I did use the tape, the grip tape that came with this mouse. And I personally didn't like it. It felt really greasy and icky whenever your hands got sweaty. So I just took them off and opted to use it this way. Like I said, I've never had mice or grip tape that was as good as this. The one that's provided with this mouse. So if you know what kind of grip tape this is or something that feels just like this, let me know down in the comments below, because I'm really interested in getting some kind of tape that feels like this so I can put it on all my mice if I ever do happen to switch off from this one. I don't know, it just has the right type of plush and the right type of texture that makes it feel very grippy but very comfortable at the same time. So I really do enjoy the grip tape that came with this mouse. But yeah, speaking of this one, I didn't like the grip tape that came with this. It was very thin. It was very like oily, sticky whenever my hands sweated. Now, it could be very subjective, right? Like that's just if you sweat a lot, if you have dry hands, if you prefer something that's super thin, it might be for you, right? But I didn't like how just thin it was personally. So yeah, I opted not to use it and I ended up taking it off. But I've been playing decently well. I noticed that I am more consistent with an ergonomic mouse than I am with one of these type of mice. I don't know why. I think maybe just because my hand grip is sort of more consistent, my mouse grip. So I'm able to like be relaxed while without having to really stress or put sort of effort into trying to know what kind of grip I'm using because it's always going to be consistent. As with this one, I have to have the right type of grip or else I'm not going to be consistent because sometimes I want to palm this one and it feels weird, but I end up doing it and I end up missing my shots. Or sometimes I want to like just barely fingertip it and not even hold the sides and I end up being inconsistent. So I have to really like claw it on the sides and then put a finger like on the edge of this for control. And it's really weird. I have to claw both my index finger and my middle finger in order for me to get like the precise aim. And then I have to move the mouse a little bit back and make sure this hump doesn't touch the back of my palm. So it's very like tricky to get the consistency in a mouse like this because you have to always have the same grip. And when it comes to a mouse like an ergonomic mouse, as long as it fits your hand, you're always going to have that consistency. You're always going to have that same grip. And it's just going to sort of fill up your hand if it fits perfectly, right? Like I said, this one does leave a hump on my side, but it's perfectly fine. Like I said, it's not going to be one that I use mainly, like I said. Now, I did end up removing my mouse feet and ended up using the ceramic. Since I've stopped using this mouse, I took off one of them and put it back on my other one. So that's the reason why you see this. So I did end up using the Super Glides after I tried out the ceramic feet. I ended up getting a pair of Super Glides. I took this one off eventually after I stopped doing like my testing. And honestly, I still like the ceramic feet better. I don't know what it is about like circle feet, that like donut shape or whatever. It just feels very nice on any mouse pad. And I just gotten used to them. Like I know some people do not like ceramic mouse feet, so it's not going to be for everyone. A lot of people do like the Super Glides. Personally, I still like these. They just don't give enough room to actually put some in the middle. I mean, I guess I could have put some here and in here, but it would be very inconsistent. But as you can see, they paid attention to detail. As you can see inside Xlite wireless, the nice design that you can kind of look in here. I don't know. I just think it's aesthetically pleasing to look at this mouse. I don't find any gripes with it. I don't feel the hose on here. Like it just feels very well balanced as well. Like the weight distribution on it. So I think it'd be a good mouse if you're looking for an ergonomic mouse. It's just going to really depend on your hand size, right? Even as a small hand, this is not for me. I still rather prefer this or the G703 when it comes to like the clicks and everything. And I think it feels perfectly fine. I don't have really any complaints when it comes to any of the clicks. They're very, I would say clicky and loud compared to other mice that I've had. Like this one are very quiet compared to this is very loud. Now the side buttons are not as big as I would want them. I feel like no company yet besides the 703 have made big side buttons. I don't know if that's just personal preference, but I've always enjoyed the bigger side buttons. And every mouse that I've had so far always has either buttons like this size or this small. And I don't know why that is. Like there's no mouse like the G703 that has those big fat wide buttons. And I'm just personally a fan of that. I don't know if I'm the only one. I don't know if like that's more of a rare thing for people to actually enjoy bigger side buttons, but it's just like easier to press. They feel nicer. I don't know. Let me know that in the comments if you prefer those type of buttons, if you've ever used the G703. Maybe there's another mouse out there that actually uses wider buttons as well. Side buttons, I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. There's not really much that I want to say Other than it is a very good mouse, very good quality, especially for the price. I think all the mice that they have is honestly very insane for what you're actually paying for. Instead of going for something that costs 150, right? You can get this for 90 bucks, 80 bucks. I think now their newer mice have they have different versions, right? They have the V2 Mini, they have the normal V2, then they have the other variations of a different line that's more not ergonomic. This is like the ergonomic line. So yeah, and I think all of their mice are priced very well. So I think it's probably a better option than going with like Razer, unless you really know you want the best of the best 4K and you know you like the shapes that the Razer provides, like the Razer Ultimate Pro or the Razer Signature Viper Mini. So I don't know. I just personally think that this is just better for the money. But yeah, that's just my overall thoughts about the V2 Mini. Let me know your thoughts down below about it, or if you enjoyed it or didn't enjoy this mouse, if you've tried it out, or if you plan on getting one of the other color variations of this mouse, or if you just use the bigger version of this. So anyways, I just wanted to touch a little bit on that. So have a lovely rest of your night or day whenever you're watching. Thanks for watching. Be safe.